affording us the chance to present today. My name is Benjamin Clapp. I'm a business services specialist with the Connecticut Department of Labor, working within the business engagement unit. And I've been fortunate enough to have a partner join me to co-present today. This is Pamela LaRosa. She is the one-stop operator. She's with the Northwest Connecticut Chamber of Commerce and working in partnership with the Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board. Pam, any words you'd like to share before we get rolling here?
No, I have no words to share, just that we welcome you tonight and we hope that you can take advantage of some of the information that we are offering this evening so that you can take advantage of resources being offered through the American Job Center, which in the Danbury area is located at 185 Main Street. So thanks for having us. Thank you, An. And with that being said, we'll get started with our PowerPoint. So tonight we're going to discuss job seeker services at the American Job Center Northwest. Keep in mind, throughout the state, there are 5 Workforce Investment Board regions, and we happen to cover the Northwest region, which includes Danbury, Waterbury, Torrington, and the 41 towns in between. So next slide, Ben. The American Job Center, oh, you got to give me a sec here. Okay. The American Job Center system is a partnership of organizations working as a team to promote a universal approach to providing effective workforce assistance to job seekers and businesses. This collaboration of the Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board and the Connecticut Department of Labor and other state, regional, and local organizations is designed to provide a seamless delivery system of programs and services. Comprehensive and affiliate American Job Centers are located throughout the state and offer walk-in and other job seeker resources. AJC services are available to anyone, regardless of employment status. Among the services provided by all of the offices, comprehensive American Job Centers offer information and assistance for unemployment insurance. Keep in mind that in Danbury, the AJC American Job Center that's located at, it's actually 185 Main Street, is an affiliate site. So when you walk in there, it's a smaller version of our comprehensive site, which is located in Waterbury at 249 Thomaston Avenue. But please keep in mind that all services available through the American Job Center are available to you regardless of walking through the door in Danbury, Waterbury, or Torrington. Next slide, Ben. The Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board. Developing and maintaining a high-quality workforce is critical to attracting and retaining businesses in Connecticut. It is the charge of the Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board to develop and sustain an effective labor market system that facilitates economic development and business growth in our region. Our system is user-friendly and highly responsive to needs of both the job seeker and the employer. The NRWIB holds partnerships with local businesses, government, education, labor, and human services agencies, which all work together to provide the delivery of workforce development services. Again, 3 American Job Centers are conveniently located throughout the Northwest Connecticut region in Waterbury, Torrington, and Danbury. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, also known as WIOA. WIOA is a landmark legislation that's designed to strengthen and improve our nation's public workforce system and help get Americans, including youth and those with significant barriers to employment, into high-quality jobs and careers, and help employers hire and retain skilled workers. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act was signed into law on July 22nd, 2014. WIOA is designed to help job seekers access employment, education, training, and support services to succeed in the labor market and to match employers with skilled workers they need to compete in the global economy. If you are unemployed or underemployed and want to be considered for WIOA-funded training, all you need to do is send an email to info@nrwib.org to register for an in-person career advancement info session on Tuesdays at 1:30 or Thursdays at 10, or to receive a Zoom link for the virtual session that is held. And you know what? There's a change in this. The virtual session is held every Friday of the month at 9 o'clock. If you meet WIOA eligibility criteria, you may select any WIOA approved education and training program in the state as listed on the current eligible training provider list, ETPL. Eligible WIOA training may be funded up to $6,000, and in some cases all the way up to $8,000, depending on the training. Individuals seeking WIOA funded training have the freedom of customer choice in selecting education and training programs that best fit their personal and career needs. And this, how to research the WIOA eligible training provider list, this gives you step-by-step instructions. You log into CT Hires, and really all you need to do, you can Google CT Hires and it'll take you right to the page you need to get to. Next slide. Special employment and training programs. NRWIB, again, the Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board, provides special employment and training programs designed to expand your skills and help you to become a marketable member of the Northwest workforce with training programs applicable to our most in-demand markets. Can I ask a question of the individuals that are on, if you would care to answer? Is there a particular career that you have in mind? Because if so, we might be able to point you in the right direction. Anyone care to chime in? Okay, then I'll just keep going. I'm going to review several of the programs that are specific to the Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board. These programs are available because the Workforce Board goes after specific grants that fund these programs in order to be able to help you, the consumer, take these trainings for free. The first one is the Northwest Construction Career Initiatives. And what this offers is job training and employment opportunities in construction. Some of the trainings available through this program include OSHA 10, OSHA 30, HAZWOPER, and HAZWOPER certifications. There's core curriculum, which includes HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. The Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board provides opportunities for eligible participants to enter and advance along a career in the healthcare field, should you be eligible to receive free short-term job-related training in healthcare. There's also Project Reentry, which is designed to help returning citizens, the ex-offender population, begin their path to a successful employment, attain industry-recognized credentials, and gain the skills needed for their next step as they re-enter the community. We also have a Ticket to Work program, which allows you to keep your Social Security benefits while you explore employment, receive vocational support, gain work experience. Ticket to Work is a good fit for people who want to improve their earning potential and are committed to preparing for long-term career success. As you can see, there are many, many trainings available. Another one that I'm going to touch upon is Career Connect. It's for everyone, whether you're looking to get back into the workforce, advance your career, start a new career, or get your first job. Career Connect offers skilling, reskilling, and upskilling in growth industries. Depending upon your needs and interests, you can participate in certificate training programs and earn industry-recognized credentials in as little as 4 to 24 weeks and get connected to employers ready to hire you right away. Be part of Connecticut's growing industries. These include manufacturing, CDL, which is a commercial driver's license, clean energy, healthcare, bioscience, construction. Next slide, Ben. Oh, and construction. That was the end. We also offer, through the Workforce Investment Board, youth employment programs. These prepare our youth for career opportunities with comprehensive training and services. We also offer Apprenticeship Connecticut initiative, which develops workforce pipeline programs for training qualified entry-level workers for job placement with manufacturers and employers experiencing sustained workforce shortages. Prior to starting our meeting, we had a little discussion about what are some of the most in-demand jobs in our region, and these include many jobs in manufacturing. And a lot of times when people think about manufacturing, they think dark and dirty, but manufacturing in today's world is a very clean environment. And if you are so inclined, you can have a great career pathway once you get your foot in the door with any manufacturer, probably throughout the whole state of Connecticut. Next slide.
Great. I'll take the mic from you, Pam. And
Thank you.
just to kind of underscore your point before, prior to working at the DOL, I had worked around manufacturing programs at the Hartford Board, and boy, I can tell you, such a high ceiling in that industry. According to the labor market data, the average annual earnings for everyone in the industry, average, is $98,000 a year, and we're kind of contending with a phenomenon. It's a little bit ageist, but it's known as the silver tsunami. And what that means is you have a generation of skilled manufacturing employees who are kind of forbearing their retirement as long as they possibly can. The big issue is they don't have enough proteges to transfer that expertise over. And part of that is because, manufacturing historically has a bit of an image issue. People think it's grimier than it really is. In reality, the majority of our manufacturing here in Connecticut is what we call low volume, high complexity. And in many cases, these shop floors are cleaner than my kitchen table. And I keep a clean kitchen too. You'll recall that Pam had mentioned, earlier in regards to the eligible training list, that can be found on a website called CT Hires. And I just want to take a few minutes to tell you a little more about CT Hires. It's what's known as a job exchange. So every state labor agency across the union has its own statewide job site where job seekers can create a profile, create a resume, post that resume, look for jobs, apply to jobs, and also explore different training and workforce resources available to them. Here in Connecticut, it's cthires.com. I just want to tell you that as a state agency, we don't let just any employer post in there. We actually vet the employers. We want to make sure that we're sending people to legit companies. And I will tell you, we have a lot of employers on there. I wouldn't say we have as many job seekers. So the way I think of that is it's a much smaller needle or much smaller haystack into which to place your needle. So in theory, you can apply much more conspicuously. We have a QR code, but it's a 24/7 kind of mini job center online that you can get to. You can look for jobs, you can look for recruitment events, you can also look at workshops that are available at no charge to you. What's also nice is it's got some almost applicant tracking system capabilities where if you input certain skills or certain elements of work that you've enjoyed, it can actually look for job opportunities automatically and match them to you and kind of tell you, hey, this job's a 70% match to your skills. This job's a 90% match to your skills. Last but not least, I'll also add, if you want to be an underwater basket weaver, that's great. There might not be a lot of jobs out there for underwater basket weaving, but you can go into CT Hires and say, hey, flag me when this job gets posted. So you can let it do some of the work for you as well, working smarter, not harder. There's a resume builder component where you can upload a resume or create one from scratch. And as I mentioned earlier, the virtual recruiter allows the system to kind of be a set of eyes and ears for you, looking at what gets posted when you don't have the opportunity to look yourself. The registration process is pretty straightforward as a job seeker. Again, there's no cost. At no point in this process will you be asked to give a credit card number. If you are, please reach out to me, benjamin.clapp@ct.gov, because it's completely free of charge. You've paid for it with your tax dollars. You would simply go to cthires.com, select the not registered link, and it will actually walk you through step by step in creating your profile. And once you do that, again, you can look for jobs, apply for jobs. We'll even notify you when there's recruitment events that might match up to your interests, and I'll talk about that in a minute or so. And we also, want to make it user friendly. We all forget things at times, so if by chance you forget your username, forget your password, there's a very straightforward way to reset it via email. As I mentioned earlier, really our priority as a state agency is to advocate and protect the interests of Connecticut workers. So there's a few different ways we do that. I won't get into extremely granular detail, but I will tell you that, unfortunately, a sad reality we deal with is there are a lot of bad actors out there. It's not unheard of for people to, for example, submit fraudulent unemployment claims with stolen identities. We have a devoted field integrity unit that researches and pursues these situations. Same thing with employers. We again want to vet employers. We make sure that they have a commercial address. We make sure that they have the proper tax ID numbers because we want to make sure it's legitimate. Want to just touch on some of the services available through the Department of Labor, and I guess maybe to give a quick analogy, we can really be as much or as little as you see helpful, and by that I mean, let's think about when you go to the grocery store. Usually, when you have your order all set and you're ready to ring out, you can either go to a self checkout or you can go to a cashier. It works the same way at the job centers, and if you're working really, you want someone to work with you one-on-one to kind of be your spirit guide or your Sherpa as you go through career transition. That WIOA program Penn mentioned earlier is a great opportunity for that. On the Department of Labor side of the coin, our services are a little bit more kind of self-serve model, but they're more kind of broader universal services. So what do I mean by that? Well, for one, we offer a variety of workshops available on a monthly basis via Zoom. Topics of those workshops can include getting your LinkedIn profile set up, resumes, job search strategy. When you feel like you're at the end of your rope with a job search, how do you tie that knot and hang on? You can sit down and talk to career development specialists for kind of a one-off, one-on-one time and some counseling. And again, everything we do is rooted in labor market data. We want to send you somewhere where there's a high ceiling, where you have the opportunity to grow and advance. We tend not to prioritize industries that are in decline, but rather industries where there's a lot of need and demand for skilled workers. We also have assistive technology. So let's say you're low vision, we have the Red Cat system that allows you to see things more easily. We want to make sure that that opportunity is there for anyone, including folks who maybe have a physical or non-physical disability. We believe strongly a sense of purpose is a basic human need, and whatever we can do to mitigate those barriers to employment, that's what we're there for. I'll also add, we'll get this presentation over to An as well as some supporting documents. So if anyone on the call is interested, we can share that with you. We also have career center services. So you'll often hear people say, well, geez, if you're not working, your job search is your full-time job. Well, the good news is you can use our office space in that endeavor and you don't have to pay any rent. You can just come into our job center. We have access to computers. We have access to printers, copiers. We have job postings up on the wall at all of our centers. That's a big piece of what I do each day, is making sure that those are up to date. Again, we definitely encourage individuals to use CT hires. My role with the agency is to work with employers, and that is the one place I send all employers to post their jobs. And I need to make sure we've got some great people on the other end of that website. So that's where you all come in as job seekers. We also have a very robust DOL website with labor market data. It's going to look a little intimidating if you're not a data wonk. Lots of charts and graphs, but just so many resources on that site. You can actually go in and look for employers by company size and filter it by location, whether you're looking at a town, a county, or a region. And you can look at the companies that are the largest companies in that town or in that region within specific industries. And in some cases, those listings and directories will even have a point person on the other end. So that's an awesome resource I highly recommend. Also on the DOL website, we have a site dedicated to our Office of Apprenticeship. Kind of a little known secret or little known fact, you can actually go onto that site and look at all of the registered sponsors across the state. So if you're thinking you might want to try learning about a skilled trade, there's a whole database there of all of the different apprenticeable trades and all of the different employers who sponsor. And that's a great tool if you want to get into a very high demand, high paying, skilled industry. Unfortunately, we know a big part of what we do as the Department of Labor is also to help people with their unemployment benefits. We know these benefits are critical, especially if you're in the middle of a career transition. People rely on them to take care of themselves and their families. So the importance certainly is not lost on us. And we know that, as far as our system has come over the years, it can still be a little difficult to navigate at times. We want to make sure that's as navigable as possible for you. So there's a few ways you can actually do that. When you file unemployment, we actually have a website called Reemploy CT, which you'll use, and you would essentially use the information that you have on your pink slip. I say that loosely because I don't think they're pink anymore, to get your processes claimed. If you're looking for just some general assistance, or there's something that doesn't make sense, or you think maybe something fraudulent has happened, you can get answers on our website, which I have listed here. If you're old school like me and you'd like to maybe just talk to somebody, we actually have a customer contact center. There's 3 phone numbers on the left. They all take you to the same place. So if you'd like to use a local number, you can use the 203. There's also an 800 number. But keep in mind, there are actual hours of operation in that contact center. It is staffed and takes calls Mondays through Fridays, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. But bear in mind, it is closed on the weekends. It's also closed on state holidays. If you have low hearing or you're hearing disabled, you can also use teletype, and we actually have a phone number for that service as well. Again, it's about accessibility and equity as far as we see it. This is my personal mission, and kind of if there's one thing you learn from my part of the presentation tonight, I hope it's this. Again, I said earlier, I work in the employer-facing side of our agency. So every day I hear from employers who come to me looking for qualified candidates. And I love it. I get to learn about so many different businesses and make so many great relationships. But in order for me to fulfill that charge, I need people, and we want to make sure you can find out about those opportunities as conveniently and as quickly as possible. I say all of this because frequently we will stage recruitment events at our job centers. These events can be kind of featuring one employer, or in many cases, we'll have multiple employers. We happen to have an event scheduled for January 18th. It's a Thursday next month from 11 to 2 in Waterbury. And I can tell you firsthand, we're probably going to be having another event in Danbury, definitely in the first couple months of the year. I've actually had a couple Danbury employers reach out to me just today about that. There's a website we have where you can actually sign up and get automatic notifications by email whenever there's a recruitment event in your region. We just ask that you give us a name, give us an email address. The site can be found below. I've also created a QR code so you can get to it in an accessible way if you have, say, a mobile device. And you can then select which combinations of regions you want to get updates around. So as Pam had mentioned earlier, I support the 41 municipalities in Northwest Connecticut. So that's kind of your Waterbury, Danbury, Torrington areas. But, that includes Canaan, that includes Brookfield, that includes Sherman. There's all of these other towns involved. And also we realize you might not live right in the center of our region. Let's just say you live in Newtown, and maybe you're looking at jobs in Fairfield County as well. Well, you can also sign up for the Southwest distribution list and get those updates. But it's a great way to find out about our recruitment events. And if you or someone is in the job market, I can't stress enough, I can't overstate how helpful that resource is. And we get a lot of our job seekers through those email distribution lists. So I think we're running a little bit ahead of schedule. I know we dedicated some time for question and answers. And, I can't promise you we'll have all the answers, but we certainly will do our darndest to find them. And I'll just kind of take a pause there. I'll stop sharing momentarily, see if anyone has any pressing questions, and do keep in mind, Pam's contact info is there. You're welcome to share mine. It's not a speak now or forever hold your peace. As you look over this presentation, you may feel a little bit like you're drinking from a fire hose. I get it. It's a lot of information in 30 minutes. But we're happy to help. And, I find this work very humbling, be it not by the grace of God, I can be that person on the other side of the line who's out of work. But I think when I see the caliber of the talent coming through our doors every day, it's really humbling, and it's really, really awesome work we get to do. So I'll put a cork in it for just a brief moment and see if anyone has any questions so far. Okay. Well, again,
I have
oh,
a question,
yeah.
actually. You mentioned that you work with teens 14 through 18. Can you go like a little bit into depth about how that works for the summer programs and any information for the teenagers?
Pam, you want to field that one?
That's exactly. Yes, that's mine. We do have programs through the Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board for youth. And the largest one is our summer youth program, where I say students, they don't have to be students, because it's for anyone between the ages of 16 and 24. Actually, it might even be 14 and 24. Where they can work over the summer for approximately 6 weeks of the summer at 20 hours a week, minimum wage, and they get placed at an employer site that is local to them. So we have many employers in that greater Danbury area who host students for the summer, and they are actually paid through the Workforce Investment Board. They're not on the employer's payroll, which is a huge thing for employers. And for the students, or the youth, I should say, it gives them the opportunity to experience work in the real world. And we have sites that include healthcare organizations, banks, there's some with Danbury Youth Services. We have them with Waterbury Youth Services, with the police athletic leagues. So students get a taste of what it's like to be in the work world. And it gives them the opportunity to learn those soft skills that they need once they enter the workforce. And those soft skills include getting along with your coworkers, being able to take direction from your superiors, knowing when it's okay to take your phone out, what should I wear, how to dress appropriately, things like that. And again, it gives the student a taste of a real life situation in the workforce. And I just want to talk about briefly, I'll also touch upon the in-school youth programs as well, but briefly, I wanted to tell you about a student that I encountered. I had dealings with his mom through work, and her son was going to school at University of Hartford, and he was in an engineering program. And the mom said that he had no idea how he was going to put this to work in the real world. How was he going to use the skills that he was learning through college? So his mom asked if I might be able to get him an internship with a company. So I took his resume and put it out there to contacts in the region that he lived in. And he was offered 2 positions with 2 different manufacturing firms. And he just loved it. It was hands-on. He was actually given a real life situation to figure out. And then all through the rest of his college career, they hired him to do something when he was not in school. And today he works at a manufacturing company in the far northwest corner of the state, and he is a rock star there. So we need to plant the seed with our young people to show them, what's out there for them, that the sky's the limit. The Northwest Regional Workforce Investment Board also has an in-school youth program. And something to keep in mind is that These programs are dependent on the funding that the Workforce Board receives. So I'm thinking specifically summer youth. There is a specific period of time where students can register, and then depending on how many openings we have, which is dependent on the funding, some summers we can place up to 800 students. Other summers, maybe only 500. So as soon as we get that information, we want to put it out there to the masses so that they know about it. And I can also provide you more information about those programs as well. But that was it in a nutshell.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions? You can see I'm not shy. So, maybe it's just the caffeine talking, but, I think the real takeaway here is, in this market, it's a job seekers market, right? There's a lot of jobs and not a lot of people for those jobs. And we know there's some larger issues around that. We know, for example, it's not an inexpensive place to live here in the state. We know there's a real serious housing issue going on. But I think one of the really cool things about the labor market when it's like this is it requires employers to take a harder look at things like job quality, to take a harder look at inclusivity and maybe tapping into some pools of talent that they maybe hadn't considered tapping into before. So while I do not delight in telling employers, hey, yeah, there's a lot of job openings out there, I think if it moves the dial in terms of creating good job opportunities, and we're seeing kind of more on a state level, especially through the Office of Workforce Strategy, that more and more of this funding tends to be affiliated with job quality. This is only going to be a bigger and bigger piece of our programming. So, certainly, like I said, if you want to be an underwater basket weaver, that's fine. We can help you come up with the best underwater basket weaving resume there is. But somewhere in that conversation, we'll be saying to you, or we should be saying to you, geez, you like working with your hands. Do you like being outside? There's not a lot of underwater basket weaving jobs out there, but, construction is exploding. Have you thought about that? Or, geez, you might be a very meticulous, detail-focused person. Have you thought about quality inspection and manufacturing? And the cool thing about that is there's just so many of these small manufacturers looking for people that you can learn different elements of the manufacturing business kind of at one company. And then once you have that well-rounded skill set, boy, you're going to be very much in demand, and that's going to show in your paycheck. So, Pam, I don't want to put a hat on a hat, but I can just say on behalf of the DOL, we really appreciate this opportunity to present. For those in attendance, I really appreciate you taking, 30, 40 minutes of your evening and to invest it in us. And I hope you feel it's an investment that's got a return. And thank you so much. Pam, anything else you'd like to add or on?
I just want to add that if anyone has any questions regarding any of this information that we've provided, Ann said that she would get you the slides to you. Please feel free to contact either Ben or myself. We can really give you more particular information if you are interested in something in particular that we spoke about, because again, we gave you that 30,000 foot overview of what goes on at the American Job Center, just so that hopefully we caught your interest and there's something here for you. We want you to take advantage of it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I am